It's the Benz Punani womanist. Baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. If you sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea, we are go sip it, yo. Hard times calling for your long throats. You might learn something you never know. Collect you fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say you're mine, say you're mine.
Hi, patrons, baby boys, baby girls, baby non-binaries in my world. Yay! Hi. So as I said before, the card that we got at the bottom of the deck, which is so interesting, really big cards underneath the deck, is the Magician. I love the Magician. I've got the drawing, like I said, by Lisa Stir. I've got it up on my wall by my bedside, above my altar. And I love it because for me, it's a reminder to me that this is who I am. I am the magician. We are all the magician in some capacity, where you have your wand, you have your sword, you have your cup, and you have your pentacles, and you have that sign of eternity above your crown to remind you that you are a divine, everlasting being, and you can create whatever you want from any situation. And so we spoke about earlier with the teacher card from the Black Angel deck of cards. We spoke about, with the Six of Cups, the idea that sometimes when you know so much, you miss the times when you didn't know anything. Like you miss those times when ignorance felt like bliss because, the stress of knowing things and feeling like you have a duty to now do something because you know something. It's a lot and it's tiring and it's exhausting, but we can't keep romanticizing the past. We can't keep doing that because it doesn't serve us at all. It doesn't serve us any good. What we can do as the magician is create space and time for ourselves, literally create space and time for ourselves so we can nurture ourselves and ultimately understand that looking backwards cannot serve us. Now we have to create a future that does serve us, that isn't as hard on us and as harsh on us as our present. That's really what we want to find ourselves doing. So I like the Magician card because it's saying to me, as above, so it is below. So really working with the energies karmically and, in terms of universally to create something that we can see that can manifest in our physical realm. So creating something in the spiritual realm that can manifest itself and sustain us in the physical realm, that is what we want to be doing. And it's just a powerful card. It's really, really saying that to me. All of this longing for yesterday is a minor thing because this is a minor arcana card. All of this longing for yesterday is minor. What you need to be focusing on is using the energies, the overarching energies over your life of the magician to create more and to create a better future. We can't keep longing for yesterdays. They're gone. This moment, from the beginning of this podcast to here where we are now, that moment is also gone. I can't change that. We can't change the past, but we can do something about where we are now and where we plan to go from here. So that's really the message for this week. I hope you enjoyed the tarot that I did for you early last week, because I just felt like I wanted to put something out, and I did a tarot reading and I wanted to share it with you also. If you haven't had a chance to go and look at it, please have a look at it. With regards to the people that didn't get goodies at the showcase, don't worry. I'll be sending some stuff out to you. I'll be sending you a t-shirt or something like that, sending that out to you soon. And there'll be other merchandise that will be available to purchase on the website, kelechiokafo.com soon as well. And you will have first dibs on that. So yeah, let's get into this story then. So Candice Mason is a 6th grade teacher at West Hope County Middle School. She was suspended with pay after Hope County Public Schools found out about her job as a part-time pole dance instructor. The school found a video of Mason's work as a pole dance instructor on her private Facebook account. Mason believes the video may have been pointed out to her district superiors by some malicious person. So basically a bitch in her workplace that doesn't fuck with her, wanted to get her in trouble, enemy of fucking progress, went and told on her clerk. Because how are you seeing shit on my private fucking Facebook profile? How? And this is what I already said, yeah? I'm pausing this story to say that I'm going to delete my Facebook soon because it really doesn't serve me at all. I only have it there in order to keep my professional pages active. But I can just set up a dummy page and use that. I don't need Facebook, because over the years I've just found that there are people on there that I'm just like, why are you still on this earthly plane? Why are you still here? Because you aggravate me. Because you, in all the years that I've known you, there's been no evolution to your character or to your thinking. You've just remained a useless person, a jobless person in this life. And I don't want to see that all of the time. And I just don't put that much effort into updating things on there. And people insist on sending me messages on there that I hardly ever read. Like, it's an actual chore for me to go on Facebook. So for the fact that this woman has a private Facebook account, and someone who happens to be on there who has not evolved and is a jobless person has decided to go and give that information about her pole dance teaching to a school board. She's teaching pole dance. She's not even a stripper. And I see nothing wrong with strippers because I love them with all of my heart. But at least if you said, oh, she moonlights as a stripper, I'd understand, but she's just fucking teaching pole dance. What is your problem? And now I understand even more why a lot of my students are like, oh, please don't put up any videos. Because I was just like, who's going to make a big deal of videos? But now I see that these are the people that make big deals of videos. People who have no sauce or spice in their life. Fucking idiots. Candice says, I've worked so hard to try and make sure I can provide for my daughters and our livelihood, to have it jeopardized just for doing something that I'm passionate about. She's a single mother of 2, and along with her pole dancing instruction credentials, she also has a master's degree in psychology and a bachelor's in English and a phlebotomy certificate. My girl is doing so many things because she's trying to make the best. She's literally a magician trying to create so much for her family. The wand in that picture is actually a pole. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, like, she's doing so much for her family, and you, handmaiden of Satan, whoever you are, trying to destroy that by giving her her videos to the school board. For what reason? Why would you want to be so mean? Why would you want that kind of karmic imprint over your life? Why? Yuck. Mason said she was told she violated one of the school's policies, which reads, as role models for the school system, students, however, employees, as role models for the school system, students, however, I don't know what they're trying to say, employees are responsible for their public conduct, even when they are not performing their job duties as employees of the school system. In the video, which was reportedly sent to the system's assistant superintendent, Mason did a routine to Eminem's Superman. There's a moving pole dance called Superman, and I like that song by Eminem. It's one of the songs where he's not being extremely misogynistic. Yeah, that song is cool. So the superintendent, the principal, and another woman basically berated me about how my song choice was vulgar, and if parents found out, they would have an issue, Mason told BuzzFeed News. She also asked me what I thought 7th and 8th grade boys would think, and whether they would still view me as a teacher. Well, she's a pole dance teacher, so they would view her as a teacher regardless. However, Mason said she went into pole dancing as a means of de-stressing. She says, it was my outlet, my sanctuary, my peace, my go-to to unwind, my time to be free, letting everything go and just be myself, no matter what form that took. I remember the first heartache I and my daughters felt when I found out I didn't get the position that would take me off government assistance. My girls were so saddened, they were crying. I felt so horrible for what happened. I cried too. I blamed myself. I began to ask if I could keep my passion or part with it. Whether I should keep my passion or part with it. Mason confirmed she would try to appeal the school's decision to get her job back. I've never felt ashamed of pole dancing. It's just an art for me. I just don't see it as negative, said Mason. Candice Mason has been suspended with pay pending an investigation. That's what the school said. And the school board will have the final say on the matter. We already know the school board will try to move mad because she's a black woman, but I hope as many white women, all these white women that always want to be like, let me know how I can help. I just want to be of service to you, and I see all the injustices in the world, and I just want to support you and love you with all of my heart. This is the time for you to help. people need to write to that school and be like, Candice should not lose her job because pole dance is an art form. It's now officially a sport over here in Britain. I don't know what you man are doing in America. She's just dancing. If you don't like the song, you don't like the song. Fine, cool. That can be debated, but she shouldn't lose her job for being a pole dance teacher. It's just so weird to me how people's mindsets are still so backwards and people don't want people to just live their best life all of the time. I feel sad when my students can't post their twerk videos or pole dance videos online, or they don't want to be seen when I'm making the videos because they're scared of what people will say or whether it will affect their job. None of this should affect your jobs, because there are people who are literally out here wearing white hoods in the evening and burning crosses. That is what they do in their spare time, and they keep rising up and up and up. And the rest of us have to hide the legitimate and beautiful things that we do in our day-to-day lives because other people might have a problem with it. It's ridiculous. That's how we can help Candice, by writing to that school board and telling them to fuck themselves and give her job back. But at least they gave her paid suspension, but I still want her to get her full job back. And whoever did that, that person should have an itchy anus for the entirety of their life. Now moving on then to this story of this useless boy. I don't even want to call him a boy because he's a young man, because he's at university. He's a young man who was selling Class A drugs from his room at uni, and he's not getting any jail time because the judge felt sorry for him. So it says here, what's his name? I'm trying to find his name. Toby Walkland, that's it. So University of Manchester student caught selling thousands of pounds of drugs from his campus flat. So, it's also interesting to me. I need you to go and check out this article. I think it's on, I want to say, The Guardian. Is it The Guardian? I think it might be The Guardian. I need you to go and check it out because the picture they decided to use of him is one of him eating a Subway sandwich. When it's black people, they'll find the most... Remember when Mark Duggan, the papers kept using a picture of Mark Duggan where they said that he looked extremely menacing and he's like crouching down, and they managed to conveniently crop out the fact that he was by his daughter's grave. He was by his daughter's headstone. They cropped that out and just had this image of him. They didn't want to give it context, but this guy is shown eating a Subway sandwich. That is the most apt picture they could find. Again, everyone trying to stress how innocent he is and he's just a lad. He doesn't deserve to go to jail, but all these young boys, black boys, deserve to go to jail, right? And to have like full harsh sentences given to them over the same thing that this guy is doing over here. And he's actually affecting the well-being of fellow students by selling drugs on campus, literally on campus, but there are no repercussions. If University of Manchester does not expel this boy, then I keep calling him boy, but if they do not expel him, then they have failed as a university. So it says here, a promising university student was caught selling thousands of pounds of Class A drugs from his Owens Park digs. Toby Walkland, 22, was suspended from the University of Manchester and was hauled before the court after police found... After police found, I'm trying to find all the drugs that they found in his room. I think it was MDMA. Let me find it. A total of 16 MDMA tablets and 138 2CB tablets were recovered, the court heard. The prosecuting counsel said that the 254 tablets could have been worth between £1,640 and £3,038. After he was arrested, Walkland said, "I just wanted to make some money." Really? Oh. So a black boy goes in front of the judge and they go, "Why were you selling drugs?" "I just wanted to make some money." "How dare you? You have ruined communities and you are harming people. You're getting 5 years in jail." But that's not what happens with my guy. My guy doesn't get any jail time whatsoever. He later pleaded guilty to 2 counts of possession with intent to supply Class A drugs and 4 counts of possession of drugs. Got no jail time. It's interesting because I know boys who have gotten jail time, who've been younger than him, who have been much younger than him, that have gotten jail time for being in possession of the same class of drugs with intent to supply. But he gets to go because he's a white boy and oh my God, let's think of the white boys. They must succeed in their mediocrity for the rest of the entirety of the universe. The judge said that this was an exceptional case, and she doesn't want to ruin. They don't want to ruin his chances of being able to do things in the future, so they won't be giving him jail time. And I thought, wow. They said the defendant recognizes the utter folly of his behavior, and he's wholly remorseful for it. But so many other boys are remorseful for these sorts of things, and yet the judicial system does not care. It slaps those sentences on them. It is what it is. Remember the girl that was at Oxford University, a white girl that stabbed her boyfriend, and also she didn't get jail time because, the judge didn't want to spoil her record, and they wanted her to be able to do great things in life. It's interesting that they realize that when they give these sentences out to people and they give them jail time, that they are effectively ruining these people's lives. They try to talk about prison as prison being a form of rehabilitation, but it's not. It's actually a punitive measure, and they show that it's clearly a punitive measure because of the people that they give it to. Because if it was for rehabilitation, then why aren't these young people, why aren't these white girls and boys, why aren't they also going to jail for things like this? Because surely this will help them to become better functioning members of society. But because it's actually a punitive measure, and you know that it will destroy people's lives, you won't give it to them because you want them to have all of the things in life and to be able to do all of the things, even though they won't do most of them well at all. You want to make sure that they have every freedom to do that. But black boys, no. Black girls, no. You will give them all of the sentences. You don't care if this is their first offense. You don't care about any of that. You don't care if they're 15 or 14. You don't care about any of that. Drugs, all right, you jail, because you will give them that long speech that they're ruining communities and they're harming communities and they're doing all of this stuff. And this boy was literally selling drugs from his flat. He said he was selling drugs because he wanted to make money and he wanted to use it as a way to make friends because he wanted to appear cool. And obviously you guys bought into that and said, yeah, no jail time for him. We don't want to affect him at all. I'm just tired of the double standards. And the reason I say this is because my brother had a hood fucking pulled over his face for because a policeman smelled weed in the area, and he thought my brother was maybe smoking a spliff. And so he humiliated him, embarrassed him, and violated him in that way. He did that to my brother and he could get away with it, right? That's what he's hoping. Yet this fucking idiot has this amount of drugs in his room that he's selling to other students, impacting their well-being within the university. He's doing all of that and he doesn't get any jail time. No one roughs him up. No one does anything of the sort to him. He's coddled. He's literally coddled. And this is why I talk about the coddling of whiteness and that being white privilege at its finest. White people will never ever be treated this way, and that's why that white gynecologist, whatever the fuck he was, geriatric physician, was saying in America when he wasn't allowed to get on that flight, he was saying, oh my God, you're treating me like a black person, because as much as people don't want to admit it, they know the exact way that black people are treated in this society. They do know it, and they pretend that they don't know it because they don't want to affect their own privilege, because heaven forbid they are held accountable for the shit that they do too, the way that black people are hyper visible and held hyper accountable for any little infraction. So that's all I really wanted to say. Like, that it's an extended suck your mum almost to this Toby, whatever Walkland, whatever the fuck his name is, to the person who chose the picture for that article of him eating a 6-foot sub or a 1-foot sub or whatever the fuck. And to the girl at Oxford University that stabbed her boyfriend and also got no jail time, and their parents and all of the people who helped to uphold this system of white privilege and keeping white young people from being accountable for their behaviors. If we're all gonna have to abide by the rules, we should all have to face the same consequences when we don't. That is what I'm saying. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much, patrons, for listening. I can't wait to see you all again at some point. You'll know when the affirmation cards are out. I'll let you know a few hours earlier than everybody else, so you'll be able to get those. But yeah, thank you so much for your continued support and for your patience, because I know I wasn't here last week because I was dealing with all of the things. I appreciate you greatly, and I'll catch you next week. Peace.
It's the Benz Punani womanist, baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. Sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea, we are go sip it, yo. Hard time scrolling for your long shorts. You might learn something you never know. Collect you fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say you're mine, say you're mine.